A good pastor must have person, because prayer is the means of communicating with God, and he must be a hardworking and willing person to be offered to the people, and so on and so forth. So those are the fundamental characteristics of a good pastor. Then if God, okay, but it will not be eloquent of tongue, but you can teach people structure, tense by tense, and so on and so forth. But then some people also have a gift of being able to motivate, must be able to preach very, very well and motivate people and tell people about God, and so on and so forth. So you could be a pastor, or you could be reliable.
There has been too much of this in the
people moved in what's wrong in message. Only, that's really more important. You need will be added onto. You can't buy it in the market. Can you to get
a faith and makes you so what you demonstrated in the people?
What totally and to a large extent, as in return, and I have followed it and fulfilling the platform to do what I've been through. Pain. I have had time was to work with
this opportunity. So as I'm congratulating, saying
they don't know the story, they don't know the history. Lamido and I, we share common understanding. Our wives were friends. We went on holiday together. So it's not a story that started today, and so on and so forth. So this is the issue. This is what our leaders were trying to do with Nigeria at that time, creating a Nigeria where there was unity, common bond, common understanding, and creating an effort to lift up Nigeria together and make Nigeria what it really should be. And that's really what we want to come back to Nigeria. The first thing we want to do in Nigeria is to change the mindset, to change the thinking, to decarbonize Nigeria, okay? To let Nigeria know that the wholeness of Nigeria is greater, is worth dying for. So the first thing we need to do is to reorientate and to rethink the average Nigerian. The second thing we need to do is to build our values on a family by family basis. The reason why I'm what I am to a large extent is because of what my parents taught me as the first basis. Okay? Whose son are you? This is the right, this is wrong, this is truth, this is false. You must be a good person. We must go back to those family values, because it is the family that produces the society, and the society that produces the leaders. Most of what we see as leadership failure is really a failure of family values that produce the kind of leaders that we have. People that don't fear God, people that of power and not for the sake of the people. Jesus Christ says those who are going to be leaders must be ministers. And the word minister means servant. A leader is a servant to serve the people, to make sure that the people prosper, to make sure that the people do well, to make sure that the people have good health, the people have agriculture, they have food, they are protected, their interests are protected. That's what a leader is supposed to do, not to lord it over his people. And this is what we need to do, to reorientate the Nigerian, to bring back values into family, to educate the Nigerians. Why should we have 12 million children out of school in 2020? Vanguard, a champion, a course to educate every single Nigerian so that they can think for themselves, so that they can decide what they want to do, and not just educate them, give them education that will make them productive in the future. Technical education where needed, creative education where needed, so that every man can look after himself and not be a liability to society. Okay, so that is the education that we want to give Nigerians, and to create an environment for us. Good roads, good infrastructure, safety, security, opportunity to harness all the resources that God has put into this country. And that's not a big deal. Oil should not be so dominant and so fearful that we don't create an environment where we can harvest bitumen. And the reason why you don't harvest bitumen today is because of resource control and because of the sharing, because the people in whose ground bitumen is being grown are not encouraged to harvest the bitumen because they are saying to themselves, I harvest the bitumen, federal government will take everything, and then I've wasted my effort. So why doesn't federal government reverse that? Okay, the bitumen, the oil is yours. Okay, harvest it, produce it, give federal government a share of it to run the federal government, give all our resources, all our gold, all our timber to come out of the ground like we used to do when we were in regions. Okay, cocoa belonged to where cocoa was grown, oil belonged to where oil was grown, palm kernel belonged to where palm kernel was grown, cotton belonged to where cotton was grown. They had marketing boards that encouraged farmers to grow and harvest these things, and the marketing board will buy this resource from you, add their own profit, and sell it to the world. So it was that profit that Awolowo and Co were using to run government. Why can't we go back to that? Even in California, is telling them that whatever you farm, we will buy, we will store, and we will resell to the rest of the world. Because the farmer is not organized to be able to do that, but they have the ability to grow, to harvest, and to sell. Okay? So you make it comfortable for them. It's the same thing we want to do all over the place. And then the government then makes sure that they can get international demand for what we produce locally. Why should we import marble into Nigeria or granite when granite and marble is growing free of charge in Kogi, in Kwara State? I mean, these are simple things. It is not rocket science. But what is
I think the first step towards the solution to our problems is in the selection of leaders. In 1993, Nigerians voted for an Abiola, whom we believe generally would have made a better leader. Actually, he died exactly 22 years ago today in detention. Today is the anniversary, 22 years ago.
Abiola family, a lot of them are my friends. I know you are very, very close to me.
Thank you very much. So may so continue to rest in peace. So for you, how do we deal with this problem of election and selection? You are partly Edo, you are partly Ondo. On television, that they are going to cage Wike over. They will not even know what happened. How do you then deal when people cannot select their leaders voluntarily? How do you solve that problem?
I think a lot of us who call ourselves elites or who are a little bit better informed should first of all stop sitting on the fence. A lot of elites or people who are informed, educated, of a good background, pedigree, sit on the fence and say, well, it doesn't concern me. Let me just sort myself out, my wife, my children, send my children to school in England. Now, pandemic has shown us that. And therefore, we don't want to, we are okay. Politicians can do whatever they want and so on and so forth. It is not acceptable. It is unfair to ourselves and it's unfair to Nigeria. Any country is led by the people who can see. Jesus said, when the blind lead the blind, they'll make sure everybody falls into a ditch. So the first thing they should get involved sacrificially because Nigeria is worth sacrificing for. The Bible says it was the people that gathered together to make David king. The people gathered together to make Saul king. The people gathered together to make Jeroboam king. The people must gather together. We have evaluated you. We have looked looked at your CV, we have looked at your credentials, we've looked at how you manage Ovation or whatever it is, and we have decided that you have the competence to do what we want and be honest about it. It's not a question of, I want to be your leader, therefore accept me. Decide, but it is the elites that know better. That is, and thinking that Nigeria will work itself out. But nature abhors a vacuum. If you are not ready to take your leadership position, somebody else will take it. And that's what's happened to Nigeria. A lot of us who should know better, we took a back seat. A lot of people in the church told us that politics was dirty. We're not talking politics, we're talking leadership. We're talking empowerment. We're talking making people, making Nigeria a better place, okay? And it's all worth us putting our places in there. The second thing is that we need to inform Nigerians better. Nigerians need to be better informed, better educated. 1,000 naira from you today and vote for you and doesn't care what happens to him for the next 4 years, thinking that 1,000 naira is what it is. That's like Esau selling away our birthright. We need to inform Nigerians that it's not a question of 1,000 naira. A road well built into the rural areas is much more than that 1,000 naira. But people will take 1,000 naira and sit in their house and not be able to go to their farms. We need to reorientate them that there's right from wrong. There's better there's good from bad, there's better from best. So a few of us we must have leadership criteria like they have in China. And this is what I posted a few months ago, that a person who aspires to leadership, Timothy says, the person that aspires to the office of a deacon must have certain criteria. Husband or one wife, must not be drinking liquor, must not do Nigeria. Number one, you must have minimum education.